All right. Wow, that looks like that's kind of loud. Look like I got to turn that down a little bit. All right, everybody. Yo, yo, yo. What is good, everybody? It is the VR King of the Crumb Side, the Godfather of Gaming, the Ageless one of your boy Lincoln Clay coming at you. What is good, everybody? I hope everybody is having a good Tuesday. I have Tuesday off. That's how I do it when we have a weekend, a holiday weekend where the holiday falls on Monday. I will most certainly take that Tuesday off. That is a good way to have 4 or 5 days off and only cost me one vacation day. Fatal Trade, they said, did you hear Xbox has an actual exclusive now? What, this only on Xbox? What would that be? So, while I wait for the answer to your question, my intro music is called Chase from the Let's Do It Again soundtrack featuring Bill Cosby and Sidney Poitier, one of my favorite movies of all time. I can't tell you how many times I watched that movie. Great movie. So, so for those that can, like old school movies, yes, I can recommend that movie. The game is called Vigor. It's only on Xbox. Wow. Well, as far as I'm concerned, Microsoft owed that to the Xbox community to give them something that's only on the Xbox, being that everything else is going everywhere else. You know, with the Halo game going to like arcades, Dave and Buster's type place, Gears Pop going to mobile, Gears Tactic going to PC, you know, and Gears 5 even being on Steam. So they owed it to the Xbox community to give them something exclusive, something that's only on the Xbox. But the question is it a system seller? I know nothing about this game. I haven't seen anything about it, haven't heard anything about it. So I don't know if this is a AAA game or a cheap looking indie game. It's made by Bohemian Interactive, the same people who made Days and Arma, which I'm not even familiar with those games. I also want to thank everyone who took a minute to check out my touring cards on the fly impressions. I also want to thank the developers for providing a key to the game. I have to say that is a very fun game. Yes, it is. It has a lot of resemblances to Mario Kart, but no less, the game is very fun. This game is currently slated to release September 12th. But it is available to put on your wish list at Steam. I do believe that this game is also coming to the PlayStation VR, which I would like to think that when it comes to the PlayStation VR, there shouldn't be any issues with this game. Given the type of graphics, the graphics don't look demanding. The game is a 8-player multiplayer, so it is an arcade racer, but nonetheless, this PlayStation VR format is starving for racing games, whether it's Sims or whether it's arcades. They definitely need some racing games over there on the PlayStation format. So I do think that touring cars will do pretty good on the PlayStation format. And I can't thank the developers enough for providing a key. It was a really fun game. I'm hoping that my son will get into this game because he is an avid Mario fan. He's played Mario games for God knows how long. And so I'd like to think that actually he still does like Mario. He still does like Mario because there's a JD Max. What is going on? He plays Pavlov, and there is actually a Mario map, a Mario zombie map where a bunch of Marios are coming at you, which that's one of his favorite maps. So I imagine he still likes Mario. And with that being said, I hope that he would like touring cards. So I will have him give that game a try next week when he comes over and see what he thinks. But yes, again, I think this game will do pretty well on the PlayStation format, especially given how well Astrobot has done. So there is a place for arcade games on the PlayStation VR format, and then you combine this with the sore need for racing games on the PlayStation format. I do think that this game will do very well. So make sure you support the game when it comes to the PlayStation format, or when it releases September 12th. Also, if you notice a video that I had playing, this is Stormlands. This is the game by Insomniac that Insomniac is working on for Oculus Studios. This is the game that had a lot of the VR community concerned that once Sony picked up Insomniac, there was a big concern about whether this game would remain on, whether it'll still be an Oculus exclusive, or will Sony take it from them and put it on the PlayStation and make it a PlayStation exclusive. Um, Given how far they come, I don't see Sony getting in the way of this. I don't know if they can legally or not, but even if they can, I don't think they will get in the way of this game. Moving forward, that's going to be a different story. JD Max, Lo-Fi Kickstarter yesterday, which I did notice that, and I did see that for $30, that will at least get you immediate access to the alpha build. That game looked amazing. Shout out to Gamertag VR, which I saw him stream that game yesterday. This game looks like Blade Runner in Cyberpunk in VR. Amazing. I don't know how they are getting a game to look that good in VR, because some of these VR games do have washed out looking colors, but this game looked amazing. The only game that I saw that even resembles that with good graphics would be Aircar on the on Oculus, which is a very good looking game. The graphics do look amazing on Aircar, but you're not doing anything except flying through the city. At least that's all I've done. So it looks like in Lo-Fi you'll be able to fly around the city, jump out, shoot stuff, that kind of stuff. I will probably I'll look into the Kickstarter. I know they only had so many slots. I don't know if they're all used up, but I would like to think that even if the slots get used up, I'd imagine they'll make a few more slots available. You backed it? Yeah, that's like I was checking out the Kickstarter yesterday, JD Max, and it was like as soon as the Kickstarter went live, it only took like 10-15 minutes for them to raise $1,000. I mean, like that. That was quick. So I definitely want to check this game out. So more than likely, yes, I'll probably go ahead and back this game, and so I can get access to the game, and then I'll stream it. I'll know I'll be late to the party because a Gamertag VR did a stream on this game yesterday, and I believe Upload VR did one. Christopher Hart, what is going on? So please forgive me, everybody that's in here. Gaming Legends, what's up? JD Max, Christopher Hart, Fatal Charade, Fatal Mephisto, Area Drake, what is going on? So I haven't put out anything in about a week. A lot of that was because I was working overtime, working 10-hour shifts, and I was still in the honeymoon stages with the car that I bought a couple of weeks ago, trying to get it, trying to beat up a few curves in that car. So the honeymoon's pretty much over. Now it's time to get back to work. You said the original Blade Runner on PC was pretty good. Okay. You said I thought about changing my name to Diabetic Gaming. Well, I'll tell you this much: you go full VR, there will be no shortage of games. I think with VR, I've said this, and I don't mean it as a negative, but currently the current state of VR, I think we might have too many games and not enough people to play them. So I'm flying by the seat of my pants. I'm only planning on being here about an hour. I got to shoot down to the doctor's office and reschedule a doctor's appointment that was supposed to happen next month. I have to reschedule that appointment and take care of a couple of other things, and then I plan on coming back and doing some streaming. I also have to stream a game called Inside the Park VR. It is a baseball simulator training VR game, and I want to thank Intel Immerse for providing a key to this game. And I am an avid baseball fan, and while there isn't any full-blown VR baseball games out there, there's a lot of baseball modes out there. Hitting, I think in the case of this game, via Inside the Park VR, it has hitting and has fielding. The developer has informed me that they're still going to add more modes to the game. I think there's going to be pitching, which that's the big part that I'm really looking forward to this game. I can't wait to pitch. So I'm definitely looking forward. I wanted to stream the game last night after I streamed the touring carts, but I was just too tired and I fell asleep. And I didn't want to stream this game in the middle of the night while nobody was up. Let's see, Gaming Legends. I have lots of ginger snacks when I play VR. Yeah, that's something I believe that ginger combats motion sickness. I know for a fact that ginger ale combats motion sickness because in the beginning when I first got into VR and I was experiencing motion sickness, I had to combat it by drinking ginger ale until I got my VR legs under me. So yes, I don't know what kind of ginger snacks you're taking, but I would imagine that if it has pure, if it has real ginger in it, it should help in combating motion sickness. Christopher Hart, I hope they bring Stormlander to PlayStation VR now that Insomniac has signed to Sony. Boy, that's a tough one right there because I think on this trailer you did see the Oculus logo on this trailer. In my case, it doesn't. You have a girl named Ginger who helps. All right. In my case, as far as the Stormland goes, being that I have both Oculus and PlayStation VR, it makes no difference to me which platform they put it on. I do plan on buying it. I guess other things is I played No Man's Sky a little bit a few days ago, and I have to say that after playing it on the PlayStation VR, which I admit is still blurry, I don't think it got the Pro patch yet. I don't know, but it is still blurry. And then once I jumped over to the Oculus, it was crystal clear. And so I have to say that moving forward, when I play by myself, I will be playing on PC. But if it's a situation where we schedule a get together with friends, then I'll play it on the PlayStation VR. So if it came down to it, I could play it on either, but boy, the clarity on PC. So, again, I'm flying by the seat of my pants. So let's go to upload VR and roll the VR and get caught up on some of the news here. Whoops. Steam community. We don't want to lose that Kickstarter page. Okay, let's start with Roll the VR. Spartan God, Ready at Dawn are looking for more employees. Yeah, maybe that's a sign that somebody's going to pick them up. Maybe that's a sign that maybe Oculus is going to pick them up. Obviously, I don't think Sony wants anything to do with them. Stormlander will remain exclusive to Oculus. I figured that. I mean, this far into the cycle, I don't see Sony stepping in and changing up anything. Not only that, truthfully speaking, you see how good this trailer looks. I don't know if they can pull this off on the PlayStation VR and have something that looks this good on the PlayStation VR without some kind of compromise. And I'm speaking mainly of blur. Let me see here. Borderlands 2 VR to launch on PC this fall. PSVR version gets free. I know DLC is coming out for Borderlands 2. Let me see. PSVR version gets DLC soon. I mean, I'll take the free DLC, but I haven't even really done anything with the current game. You say, well, actually, there are games on PSVR that is very ambitious. Yes, we still have Iron Man. I don't know when it's going to come out, but I'm still hopeful that it's going to come out this year. And I don't think it's gonna happen, but it seemed like a couple of times I had heard that that Predator game could have a VR mode. I highly doubt that, but God, if it did have a VR mode, that would be a huge game because I think that Predator game is gonna have a lot of. I think it's gonna have the same aspect as like say the Friday the 13th game where somebody is randomly picked to be the Predator and he's going around hunting down the other players. Said Spartan guy, PSVR is quite capable. It's a PlayStation 4 that's not really able to keep up. The Pro can though. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Oh, let's see here. So the PSVR version of Borderlands 2 that's supposed to get the DLC is coming September 6th. So let's see what else we got. I guess I'll touch on something. He says PSVR launch title Drive Club to be delisted for PlayStation Store tomorrow. That was August 30th. So it's already been delisted. Sick Humor talked about that a little bit. And he pretty much already said what needed to be said about the outrage of Drive Club being delisted from the PlayStation Store one day before it was scheduled to be delisted. And a lot of fake outrage. No reason for it. The game has been out, like he said, over 4 years. People had plenty of chances to buy it. And when Sony announced that they were going to be shutting down the Drive Club servers, they also announced when the game was going to be delisted. They gave everybody like about a 1 year heads up when it was going to happen. So people have had plenty of time to pick this game up between the time that Sony made that announcement and the actual day that it was supposed to be delisted. So a lot of fake outrage, a lot of it's unnecessary. So it is what it is. The way I see it, if you wanted the game, you would have bought it. So wait until it 5 minutes before it gets delisted. Nah, you weren't interested in the game. So you said, let me see here, Spartan God, the Avengers cake. I assume you mean game is going to brick PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. We'll have to see. I really don't have that much of an interest in getting that game. Number one, it's a flat screen game. Number two, don't really care about the way some of those Avengers look. Yes, I'm probably being petty about that, but it is what it is. I definitely don't look like Captain America's outfit. Doesn't look like a Captain America outfit. It looks like he looks like somebody on a SWAT team that's got a star on his chest. Christopher Hart says, even I have Drive Club VR and I don't even keep up with Drive Club like that. Yeah, exactly. Despite the blur, it's still a good game. I talked about that a little bit on the VR link, that I think the timing of Drive Club VR might have been bad because it was a launch title for the PlayStation VR. It came at a time where the PlayStation Move bundle was $500, which was still pricey, even though it was the cheapest of the major headsets. It was also a game for people who were new to PlayStation VR. It was causing motion sickness, with me being one of them. That was one of the games that made me motion sick. That, Riggs, and teleportation, because it was the first time I had seen teleportation in like the Batman Arkham game as well as the Resident Evil game. That was the first time I had experienced teleportation, so it was forcing me to kind of reset everything and try to get reacclimated with the surroundings. So it took a while to get used to teleportation. But again, in the case of Drive Club, I think the game was already fighting an uphill battle, being that it was on a platform that cost $500. And I think I understand how much Sony put into PlayStation VR, but nonetheless, you had a peripheral that cost more than the console itself. I mean, at the time that the PlayStation VR came out, Um, the PlayStation Pro came out about a month later at $400, and then the standard PlayStation 4 was $300. So you had a console that was $300 and had a peripheral that was $500. Um, I know Sony would have taken a massive hit, but if they would have launched the PlayStation VR at $300 and probably would have launched it a year or two earlier, I think they would have had way more units sold than they have now. But nonetheless, I think the PlayStation VR in terms of sales has performed adequately. So you said early PSVR games caused more motion sickness. Yes, they did. Now, and I would probably say Riggs was the worst for me. Um, Cause Riggs was the game. The first time I ever got on a jet, I experienced motion sickness like never before. Because a lot of it was fear. I was terrified. You know, it was like feeling those G forces of that jet taking off. Um, as the plane's going down the runway, you hear the thump, 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 thump from the tires. You know, hitting cracks in the road and that kind of stuff. And then all of a sudden, you don't hear anything. It's like, and it's almost like, you know, something grabbed the plane by the nose and just pulled it up in the air. That scared the living crap out of me. And Riggs wasn't too far away from that. I'm jumping around inside these rigs and I'm looking out the window, and it felt like I was like 200 feet up in the air. Caused some serious motion sickness with me. I think the first time I played Drive Club in VR, I had never experienced anything like that, where I'm going down the road at 200 miles an hour. I'm seeing it, but my mind is fighting, trying to tell me that I'm not moving. But it looks so real, you know, that I was like moving all over the place to try to avoid accidents. It gave me motion sickness, but at the same time, I felt like, wow, this is amazing. JD Maxon says, Ginger, where are you? That was one of the things that helped me, and that was from I think that was from the YouTuber Mitsuons. He did a video explaining the stuff you can do to combat motion sickness, and he was one of the guys that said you can eat ginger root, eat candy, stand up, drink ginger ale, and all that stuff was a big help until I got my VR legs under me. I think even to this very day, I think Riggs is still make me sick. I haven't gone back to that game. I definitely think, as far as PlayStation VR games goes, it definitely has some of the best graphics that was out at the time, but it made me incredibly sick. So let's go back to upload. Let me see here. Road to VR. VR racing sim Dirt Rally available free from Humble Bumble. That was 3 days ago. I'm not sure if it's still there. I think Salsa Ketchup mentioned something about that. I'm not sure if it's still there. I'll have to look into it. So now I'm getting into old stuff. Yeah, Beat Saber. DLC came out for Beat Saber last week. 6 new songs. I like them. They sound a little bit techno, but I do like those songs. And for the most part, the price you can't beat. Free. 6 free songs. So shout out to the developers for giving back to the community. This game is done very well. I think Beat Saber is one of the top selling VR games on any format, and shout out to the developers for giving us free songs, giving back to the community. And I do believe Player versus Player is coming, at some point. I don't know when. And oh, excuse me. Here, let me take a drink real quick. It's 12:30. Okay. I'm trying to wrap this up. Try to wrap this up at 1 o'clock, give or take. So yeah, with Beat Saber, when it comes to the standard songs on Beat Saber, I will be playing Beat Saber on the PlayStation VR because it does run better than PC. Um, and I'll pretty much use the PC version for custom tracks. There was an update a few months ago, for Beat Saber, and it wiped out all my custom songs, so I have to go back in there and put them in again, and I've just been too lazy to get around to it. At some point I will, and at some point I will do another Friday Night Jam with custom tracks. That was a lot of fun, and I'll definitely do that again. But as far as the DLC goes, I like those songs, and I will play those songs on the PlayStation VR as it runs better. A couple of those songs, when I tried to play those songs on PC, the song, when I selected the song, it started out buggy, and it caused me to not be able to complete the song. So again, when it comes to content that comes directly from the developers, I will be playing Beat Saber on the PSVR because it runs better. So let's see what else we got. See, Rec Room reveals new virtual obstacle course, a minigame stunt runner. Huh. Let's see here. Arizona Sunshine DLC The Dam delayed until later this year. Okay, when it hits is when it hits. Arizona Sunshine, when I played it on the PlayStation VR, it's not a bad game, but I don't think it's worth $40. And boy, they will not come down off of that $40 for nothing. I ended up catching a game on sale at the PlayStation Store, virtually a flash sale for 15. I think it was $13. So I didn't have a problem paying $13 for it, but I thought it was a little steep for $40. So, also, happy birthday to Firewall. August 28th, I believe, was their 1-year anniversary. Still a good game. Still a tremendous game. But, unfortunately, I consider it the only true first-person shooter game on the PlayStation VR. They need more of them. They need more first-person shooter games with aim control. So I don't know how they're going to get it to work. But when Sniper Elite comes to the PlayStation VR format, it will be a welcome addition. I just hope they can get it to work right in terms of being able to look through the scope of a sniper rifle, because Bravo Team has proven that doesn't work. So I hope they can get it right. But it still, nonetheless, it will be a welcome addition. I'm doubting it, but excuse me. But I'm hoping the game has multiplayer or some kind of co-op. Christopher Hart, you said Aspire 1 is looking good. Yeah, that got delayed. I think it comes out September 24th. I try not to think about that game because I was excited about that game. I had it penciled in that the game was going to be coming out in August, because I think towards the second half of August, things got really slow. It wasn't a lot of news coming out, so I was definitely looking forward to Aspire 1. So I guess I'll just have to wait till September 24th. But there is a little bit of a dilemma with that game. Right now, if you kind of like pre-order the game on Steam, you get a free copy of Killing Floor Incursion. I do believe I have that game on the PlayStation VR, which I wouldn't mind having it on PC because it'll probably look better. But at the same time, I want to try to wait it out to see if this game is going to be cross-buy on the Oculus platform. Because if it is cross-buy, then I want to buy it there so I can get it on the Oculus Quest as well. First, my son said he wanted the game. Then he said he changed his mind. I think Pavlov is all he plays on his Oculus Quest. He doesn't play it all that much because he said there's only a couple of maps. So it's basically when he comes over here on the weekends, he heads straight over to the computer. He doesn't even take his Xbox out of the backpack anymore. Like yesterday when he was over here, he played Pavlov, and Pavlov. I think he took a break for a split second and played Gears of War for about a half an hour. Then he jumped right back over to Pavlov. They added another map, the Call of Duty World at War zombie map. And it functions pretty much exactly like World at War Zombies, except that it's in VR. My son absolutely loved it. He was playing it all day. So, big shout out to the developer of Pavlov. He made a great game. Also, another shout out to him for allowing mods to come on, allowing mods to be put on the game. I think only one person developed Pavlov, so I don't think he's putting all those maps on there by himself as far as mod goes. I think he's allowing the community to put more maps on there, and you're seeing a lot of maps that resembles a lot of popular games. There's several Call of Duty maps that look similar to Call of Duty, like Nuketown, Rust, and a few other Call of Duty maps. There is they added a zombie mode that's right out of Nintendo 64. I guess it's got the castle and a bunch of Mario zombies coming at you. So that's pretty slick. Have I tried Persistence on the PS4? Yes, I have. I bought it on sale. Again, that was another one of those games when it first came out. I was interested in it, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to pay $30 for it because unfortunately, it's hit or miss with a lot of these VR games. You might see like a game like Pavlov is only $10. If Pavlov were to cost $40, it would well be worth it. You know, just for the simple fact that the developer allows mods on there. So much content gets added to Pavlov. It seems like a new map or a new mode gets added like every few days. So, but in the case of the Persistence, the game was $30. I wasn't sure if I wanted to pay $30 because I did get burned on a few of these VR games where I paid $20, $30, and they looked like they weren't $5. But on the other hand, like I said, you got games like Pavlov that's only $10 and is well worth every penny of it times 5. So the Persistence is not a bad game, but again, that's one of those games that I haven't been back to the game. Not because of like or dislike for the game. It's just every time you look around, there's a new VR experience coming out, something that hasn't been done before. So when you have new experiences coming out every week, every couple of weeks, it makes it hard to go back to a game. You know, for the time that I was playing it, I absolutely loved Defector. I think I got about 75% through that game. But I haven't been back to it because I think No Man's Sky is probably No Man's Sky as well as the Firewall Dark Web DLC. I think that pulled me away from Defector, and I haven't been back since. I have to go back and finish that game at some point because I think it is a great game. You know, I've heard some things about the ending, but I let it go in one ear and out the other, and I'll just go back and finish it at some point. Also, I want to let everybody know that with some of you know that when I stream from the Oculus Rift, I have a situation where I'm not able to bring the chat into the headset. I understand you can do it with Restream, and I did, download Restream, but never put it in there. Yesterday, I attempted to put it in there and saw something that I did not care for. If you Restream allows you to stream to multiple platforms at once, Twitch, YouTube, whatever. You can stream, to multiple platforms at once. The problem with that I have with it is that it costs $19 a month. So I guess you can stream to one platform for free, but if you add any other platforms, it's $19 a month or whatever other packages they have. The big problem I have with that, it seems that Facebook is the default streaming platform that's free, and it doesn't seem to be any way to remove it. So I tried every way possible to remove it, and I could not find a way to remove it so I could replace it with YouTube. The only option it seems to have is allowing me to add YouTube alongside Facebook, and then you get a notification saying you need to upgrade $19 a month, blah, blah, blah. With that being said, I'm not going to pay $19 a month just so I can put the chat inside of the headset. So I'll just have to stick to what I was doing and occasionally lift up the headset and check the chat periodically. But at the same time, hell, chat works on the PlayStation VR, but in limited capacity. Long paragraphs, I won't be able to see long paragraphs. So whenever you type something in the comments on whenever I'm streaming from the PlayStation, you'll need to keep those comments to the point and as short as possible, so I'll be able to see the entire comment. Because if you make a very long paragraph, I won't be able to see the whole thing. So let's see. I think I'm going to jump over here to. It says you don't need to do all that. I can read chat in VR just fine. Yeah, well, you'll still have to walk me through it. Let's see here. Let's go to Upload VR. Yeah, definitely. Fatal Sharad, you're gonna have to walk me through it. Because it kind of breaks the immersion a little bit when I have to stop right in the middle of playing something so I can check the chat. But I don't want to be unsociable. I want to be able to respond to all the chats. So I do need to get that going. Just a second here. I need to change to my thick ass Nutty Professor glasses so I can see what's on the phone here. Stolen Pets, Borderlands DLC. What the? It says mysterious Half-Life VR code uncovered in the lab update. Whatever that is, huh? Wizards. The Wizards Dark Times is a true single-player VR adventure. Some more medieval stuff. All you got to do in virtual desktop is... Oh, you said in virtual... Wait a minute. All you got to do in virtual desktop is pop out your YouTube chat. Place it where you feel comfortable and pin it. That's just it. Every time I try to pop that chat out... Well, here's what happens, Fatal Sharad. When I go live, I go on the virtual desktop and then I go to YouTube and I bring up my live stream. I try to pop the chat out. It doesn't seem to let me pop the chat out for starters. I can move the entire page around wherever I want, but I'm not able to pop the chat out. From there, once I switch back from virtual desktop to the game itself, then I don't see the chat anywhere. So I guess the big question is where am I popping the chat out from? Am I popping the chat out from the OBS? From OBS, or am I popping the chat out from from my actual YouTube stream. Oftentimes, I pop my chat out before starting VR. Okay. That still sounds like a little bit of a workaround because pop out from your browser. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Um, hmm. Okay, it still sounds like something. I'll give it a try. Um, Possibly later today, because I still have to do it do a on the fly impressions of that baseball game, so I can try to pop the chat out on that one. I'll make a video showing you how to do it. Okay, definitely. I mean, I'm subscribed to your channel, so I'll get the notification when you do it. So absolutely, please make that video ASAP. There was something else I was gonna say. Well, I think that's about it for the VR part of it. Let me go to N4G, which whatever, but let me go there anyway and see what the latest flat game news is. See, Microsoft fights the battle for mindshare with XO 19, whatever. Nintendo Direct presentation airs this Wednesday at 11 p.m. UK time, which would be about 6 p.m. Eastern time. Let's see here. Nah. Nothing catching my eye here on N4G. Oh, Madden NFL 20 free weekend starts September 5th. New game mode announced. Huh. In all likelihood, I will not take advantage of that free weekend. Because nope, I can't even get this as log in or join to even get to that. So no. But in any case, in all likelihood, I will not take advantage of that free weekend because I am not going to eat up 50 gigs of my 30, 40, 50 gigs of my data just to play a game for the weekend. So if that be the case, I'll just, jeez, I don't know. Maybe I'll rent Madden, but even that, with the pro patch and shit, that kind of stuff, it still might be like another 10 gigs for the pro patch. So I think that is about all I got. Can't really think of anything else. So I think I'll get ready to shut it down. Get ready to head downtown so I can clear up these loose ends down at the doctor's office. Get back, grab a bite to eat, and then stream the Inside the Park VR. And I dabbled with this game a little bit yesterday, at least the hitting part of it. I'm hoping that this game will bring us one step closer to having a full-blown VR baseball game, because my ultimate goal as far as baseball goes, would ultimately be seeing a game like MLB The Show being fully playable in VR. That would be amazing. So with that being said, I think I'm gonna get ready to boogie on out of here. I can't think of anything else. At this point, I would be just running around in circles. Um, trying to extend this stream, but I can't think of anything. But I do want to thank everybody for tuning in, and keep an eye out for some sort of stream from me later on today. I still have VR games that I've purchased that I have not streamed yet, like Shadow Legends. There's a number of VR games that I've purchased and haven't streamed yet. I'll try to get around to streaming some of those games because I got to do my part to help VR grow. Shout out to my VR Link colleagues, Gamertag VR, Salsa Ketchup, and 7 Degrees of Gaming. Make sure you check out their channels. They all have great content. Also, let's see here. Shout out to Sick Humor. The man put in a lot of work last week putting out content. Somebody's running water up above me. You can hear that. Sounds like a damn steam engine. So shout out to Sick Humor. He put in a lot of work last week. A lot of content. He put out a lot of content last week. Shout out to the Roundtable. I wasn't able to make the Saturday show as we were having a birthday party for my father. And that is all I got. With that being said, I'm going to boogie on out of here. Like, comment, share, all that good stuff. And I will catch everybody later. Y'all have a good one. I'm out of here. Deuces.